thoughts. John in Staten Island, what's up, John?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good, what's up?
Yeah, Mike, the problem I have with the Mets mostly is how they draft. Because we need everyday players in the draft. Now, what do they do this year? They go after a high school kid from Wisconsin that I don't know if he's going to be any good, but it's going to take 5 or 6 years. Now, I was watching College World Series this year because I saw Clemens, a kid from Staten Island, was playing a Conines kid. Now, this kid from Clemens' son, he looks like he might be a good second baseman, and it might take him only 1 or 2 years. Now, I don't know the reason. Could it be money? Or that's the way they draft?
I don't. You know what? I don't really know
like
enough.
Nimmo.
Yeah, listen, I don't know enough about the kid to talk about him. Yeah, listen, I think you got Omar involved in that now. I mean, Omar's had a history of really coming up with. I mean, Omar's discovered a lot of big players, from Sammy Sosa to Juan Gonzalez and a bunch of others. So he's been historically he's really had a good eye for talent. They're using Omar to do that now. Omar's going to be very involved in the amateur draft. He's going to be very involved in trying to really, fill their lower system with good players. Omar's got a great eye for talent. That's what he's known for. Omar, everyone will tell you Omar can see a player a mile away. So that's what they're looking to do, have him do that now. Dan in Danbury, Connecticut. What's up, Dan?
Hey, Mike.
What's happening?
Hey, Mike, listen, I want to get your expertise on this thought I have. So, going back to the Mets series, the Yankees scored 4-4 and got shut out. Those first 2 fours, 2-run homer, solo shot in one game, 2-run homer, solo shot in Tanaka on the tag ball and on the fly ball in the other game.
Right.
Then Washington comes in. Didi hits 2 last night. I don't know how they scored their 3rd run, but Mike, let me ask you, because you know better than anybody. Where do you think at some point, like if you go up against Keiko, Morton, and Verlander, and they're on their game, at some point, do you think the Yankees' seemingly inability to manufacture runs, we all know they hit the bomb, no doubt about it, but don't you think that at some point, especially in playoffs against good pitching, that might come back to haunt them, Mike? What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, the Yankees don't have the ability. They don't have the kind of hitters they used to have. They don't have the guys like Bernie, Paul O'Neill, Jeter, guys who are going to... Now, not that they didn't strike out, because even Jeter struck out 100 times a year. But the point is, guys who would take walks, guys who will work counts, guys who will get hits, they put singles together. You go to the classic rally, which is 5-2 down to Pedro in 2003 in one of the classic comebacks ever. What you have there was a ball that Trot Nixon should have caught over his head that Jeter hits. Bernie hits a single to center, and now you have 1 run. Bernie's on first. Matsui hits a double inside the first base bag. 2nd and 3rd. You get a dunk hit from Posada. Now you got 3 runs. I mean, that's the kind of rally they used to get in the old days. Now it's basically Judge and, it's Stanton, and it's going to be guys who are mostly going to hit the ball. But the game has changed a lot, too, since even 2003, where the game is much more now hit the ball out of the ballpark. And, a lot of these rallies are guys hitting the ball out of the ballpark on every team. You want to have a couple of guys that you hope can put together a rally with a base hit or, a base hit, a walk, a stolen base or whatever. But most rallies now involve the long ball. That's just the way the game is played. Elvis in Connecticut, what's up?
Hey, Mike, good to hear you again.
Thank you. What's happening?
Hey, Mike, let's go with deGrom now. I mean, we're getting to the point now. I mean, I hate to get rid of him, but, I mean, we got to get rid of him. I mean, we get a couple of good players. Who would you want for him?
I mean, right now, if you're talking about, if you're the Mets, you have to use deGrom to replenish your team. I mean, it's really to that point. Now, we'll use the Yankees, even though I think a trade still is very hard to really see that it'll be consummated. But if you use the Yankees as an example, because they have a very rich system right now, and they have a lot of position players, and they have excess power in their lineup and on their bench and in their system, you could give the Mets, without giving up a pitcher, when the Mets wouldn't go shopping for pitchers in the Yankee organization, they go shopping for position players. You could really, in a very easy way, without touching Torres, who would be the jewel here. Now, Andujar's gotten to the point where a month ago nobody would have quibbled. Now they're going to start to quibble about him. You got to give up something to get something. You'd have to figure you would have to put Andujar in the deal. You're not going to put Torres in the deal. But an Andujar, who the Mets would slide right in as an everyday player. Frazier, who they would slide right in as an everyday player. Austin, who they would utilize right now as their first baseman. And a fourth piece for deGrom, let's say a reliever, let's say a lesser prospect. Those three and a pitcher, those three and another piece. And the Mets would have three starters in their everyday lineup. Bing, bing, bing. And I think that and a fourth piece, maybe, let's say for argument's sake, maybe Betances is too much, but a lesser reliever, or maybe somebody, that can throw hard, you put him in there as a reliever, and then you got four pieces for one with Andujar in the deal. Now, if you ever try to take Andujar to the deal, you'd have to give up a lot more in terms of prospects. But Frazier's a very highly regarded prospect. Austin's got power. He's got, he strikes out a lot. He might be an everyday player, might not. He's kind of borderline. I think Andujar is an everyday player. I think Frazier will be an everyday player. I think those guys would start for the Mets immediately. Matter of fact, they hit in the middle of the lineup. You could do something like that, but it's still very hard to do. But he would be that valuable to the Yankees. He really would. Yankees might keep Drury only for one reason, and that would be if they traded Andujar, they might want to play him at third base. If they rather than be caught with both of them gone, that would be the only reason. Or you could put Drury in the deal, but you're not going to put Drury instead of Andujar. The Yankees aren't going to want that. They're going to want Andujar. Joe in Massapequa Park, what's up, Joe?
Mike, good afternoon, Mike.
What's happening?
The Mets really want to shake things up, Mike. If they had any guts, which they probably don't, I would be on the phone with Baltimore right now.
What are you going to give Baltimore, though?
Listen to me. Hear me out. They can pick any 4 or 5 guys they want except deGrom. That includes Syndergaard.
Well, they wouldn't want deGrom, first of all.
Okay, so there you go.
But you know what? You don't have a guy in that system that's going to excite them.
How about Peterson? How about Dunn?
No, you don't have a guy that's going to excite them. They're going to go to an organization that they're going to go get even players that might be down a little bit in the system that Buck likes. I can't see Buck looking at the Mets system and liking anybody.
But that's why you give quality.
No, but you're not getting quantity. See, but I don't think. I think they would direct their trade somewhere else. I don't think they'd send them there because I don't think there's anything in the system they would like.
Do you think that would be something that 4 or 5 guys maybe for?
Well, remember. Then you have. Well, let me ask you: if you're the Mets, why do you do that? If you can sign him as a free agent at the end of the year, why give up? Why bankrupt your system from talent?
Because right now you don't have to go against the Yankees.
Well, yes, but you still have you do because you still have to pay him.
But if you trade with Baltimore now and negotiate in the 24-hour window,
but you still have to pay. He's not going to sign unless you give him a fortune. The same fortune you could get.
Give him $20 million for
No. He's not going to sign for that.
You think he's going to get more?
Yes, and he's going to. He's not going to sign. So if you're renting him, you're not going to give up a ton. You're not going to give up a ton to rent him. And you know what? You might as well just go sign him. You have to sign him. If you're a team that has no trouble signing him, it's a lot easier. For the Mets who would have trouble signing him, he'd want top dollar to come to the Mets. Otherwise, he's going to want to be a free agent, go to some better team. Plus, that's not a great park for him. He's conducive to hitting in a park that is an absolute bandbox for a right-handed hitter. Manny Machado has a huge advantage hitting in Camden Yards. If you would put a Mike Piazza in Camden Yards in his prime, my God, he would have hit 50 home runs. Greg in Mayapack, what's up, Greg?
Thanks for taking the call, Mike.
Yeah, Greg, what's up?
Mike, I mean, not for nothing, but Callaway, whether it's confusing with, he's confused with what the batting order is, or the double switch, or taking the pitcher out or leaving him in. I mean, these are just things that we see on the outside. If we think that those are the only mistakes that are happening, no way. No way. That's probably just the top. I mean, let's face it. He's lost the team, Mike.
Mike. I wouldn't say yet that he's lost the team, but I would say that I would be concerned about that if I were the Mets.
Mike, we've seen a lot of bad baseball watching the Mets over the last 50-plus years. We know what a bad baseball team is. This team is bad, but they're not really this bad. They're not this bad. Mike.
No, and he's not getting. And listen, I'm not blaming him for the offense. That's not fair. But what I do blame him for is the idea that the message is the same every day. It can't be. It can't be. It just can't be. There can't be a monotone message every day when your team plays like this. There's got to be a point where you let your team know that this is not acceptable. And I just don't sense that. I just sense that this is monotone. Well, it's a long season. We're grinding. No, you're not. Grinding? You got 2 hits. The day before, you got 3 hits. Your team's not running after balls. Your team's not fielding well. Your team's making a million mistakes. And you're not hitting a lick. I mean, so do I worry about him with the team? I do. Yes, I do. Do I like what I see from him? I don't like anything I see from him. Nick in Manaville, what's up, Nick?
Hey, Mike, I just want to talk to you about the Yankees. As a Yankee fan right now, looking at the standings, I'm a little bit worried. Obviously, we're dead tied right now with the Red Sox. The Red Sox have played 6 more games than we have, so we have 6 games to make up on. A
lot of doubleheaders, too.
Right. See, and now here's my point I'm going to bring up to you. So I know you're an advocate of keeping the wild card, the one
absolutely
the structure. I know
absolutely.
You don't like a division. You don't want to see a division first place team get that wild card. Due to the fact 2 other teams have a better record. I understand that, but what I'm worried about is that the Yankees may win over 100 games, but with all of these doubleheaders that they have to make up, they may actually lose in the standings to the Red Sox. Now they play that 1-game playoff.
Yep.
Maybe they win, maybe they lose, but I feel like, something like that with the schedule, the weather being involved,
tough.
Why not go to a 3-game playoff?
That's not, no. Win the division. The Yankees have a long time to win the division. Do they have do they have more games to make up than the Red Sox? Yes. Are they going to have to play some doubleheaders? Yes. So be it. You know what? No one cares. The Red Sox don't care. Nobody cares that the Yankees might have 3 doubleheaders to play that they have to make up. So be it. You make them up. That's all there is to it. Not easy to win doubleheaders, obviously. You can burn out your bullpen a little bit, no question. But that's the way it is. And I like the fact. See, to me, I look at the wild card as a blessing. You could easily not go to the playoffs at all. So when people say, "Oh, how can you win 100 games and you only get 1 game to prove yourself?" Well, you could get no games. You could go home. Detroit Tigers, 1961. Detroit Tigers, 1961, won over 100 games. 61 Yankees won more. There have been many teams that have won over 100 games and finished second place. That's the breaks. You know what? They went home, those teams. Those Met teams in the 80s, if they had a wild card, they could have won a couple of championships. They lost some heartbreakers and didn't go to the playoffs. It happens. That's the way it works. The bottom line is they still get an opportunity, and you got to make the most of it. And I think it's good that you figure out a way, and baseball did, to make the regular season division race important. Not make it that it doesn't matter if you finish as a wild card or a division champ like it used to be. That was terrible because they didn't even try the last weekend of the season. Now, if they played a series the last weekend of the season, it would be a fight to the finish. And that's the good thing. Back after this.